Hi class, this is Miss Leisure. We're talking about special right triangles today, specifically the 30, 60, 90 triangles. As you remember yesterday we talked about the 45, 45, 90, which began with the square. Today we're going to begin with the equilateral triangle, as you see here, with sides of 2. Now the first thing we're going to do is draw our altitude, and the altitude here hits at right angles. This line is also called the angle bisector, so it bisects the 60 degrees into two 30-degree angles. And it's also the median, so it splits this side into equal segments, 1 and 1. Now we're going to look at the triangle on the left, and we are going to find the altitude. So we're going to find this distance here up and down. Alright, so first we need to decide what is missing, which is the altitude. It's going to be called x. We need to label our A, our B, and the C, of course, is the hypotenuse. And we're going to plug into a squared plus b squared. Remember, you can pause this at any time. And we're going to plug in and solve for x. So x is the square root of 3. So this gives us our basic triangle for the 30, 60, 90 triangle. The ratio is the 1, 2, and the square root of 3. So we're going to add an x. So if I multiply this by 5, what new size would it be? If I multiply it by 10, what new size would this be? So that's what we're going to work with. So I added the x's here in the picture, and this is the way it is on your MCAS sheet, so that you can get used to using this. And we're going to use this to solve some triangles. First, you've got to know where to identify these. So where is the short leg? The short leg is always opposite the 30-degree angle. The long leg then is the other side, the altitude, which is x times the square root of 3, and the hypotenuse is 2x. Okay, so now how do you find the sides? So here's our first example. I believe there's 16 examples. Sorry, a lot. Only copy down the ones you need. Okay, I would say at least copy down every different one where there's some major differences. So I copy this one down, so pause it, get it done. Alright, so now if I want to find x, well, match it up here. You can match up the 4 and the x here. And so that tells us exactly what x is. Sorry, guys. Okay, sorry about the phone ringing there. Alright, so I'm back. So x is 4, so I plugged in 2, because this side is 2x. I plug in the 4 here, so I end up with 2 times 4 is 8. And the other side is x times the square root of 3, just like it is here. So I plug in the 4 times the square root of 3. It's that simple. Alright, here's another one. Let's see the 5. So what are we going to have for our hypotenuse here? You got it. Awesome job. 2 times 5 is 10. And then for this side over here, we're going to have, very good, 5 square roots of 3. Alright, another example. Alright, so see what you get. Well done! 2 times 7 is 14, and the other side is 7 square roots of 3. Alright, now this one's just a little different, so you might want to copy this one down. So we've got the square root of 10 now is going to be what x is. So x equals the square root of 10. So now if I do the hypotenuse, I'm going to do 2 times the square root of 10. Exactly. Very good. Alright, and then this side over here is going to be the square root of 10 times 3. The square root of 3. So we get the square root of 30. Alright, so you try this one. Well done. 2 times the square root of 3 for the hypotenuse. And the other side is going to be the square root of 3 times the square root of 3, which is square root of 9, which is 3. Awesome job. Alright, here we go. This one's a little different as well, so you might want to copy this one. So you're given the hypotenuse, which is 22, and that has to be equal to the 2x over here. So 22 equals 2x, so x equals 11. So this here, x is 11, so we're just going to put 11 down here. Okay. Now if that's 11, what is this side? Way to go. 11 square roots of 3. Alright, another one. So this one's just like we were doing. So 4 equals 2x. So x is 2. Good. And now the altitude is 2 square roots of 3. Y'all are doing awesome with this. Alright, so here's another one. 18 equals 2x. Pause it and see what you can get. Way to go. Alright, so we get 9 for x, and we get 9 square roots of 3. Do they get harder? Yeah, sorry, a little bit. Not yet. 30 equals 2x, so what is x? X is 15. And what is your altitude? 15 square roots of 3. Way to go. Alright, now, here's another different one, so you might want to copy this one. Pause it and copy it. Okay, so this time we have 23 times the square root of 3. Well, doesn't it look just like this? Except that x is replaced with the 23. So what is x? X is 23. So your bottom, your short side, is 23. And then your other side, your hypotenuse, is 23 times 2, which is 46. Okay? If you got any questions about what I did there, let me know. Okay, so again, we're going to try this one. So what is in place of the x? In place of the x, we have the 14 here. So x equals 14. And so the hypotenuse is 28. So see, once you know this pattern, it's really pretty easy to go through. So what is your short side? Way to go, 16. And what is your hypotenuse? 16 times 2, 32. Good job. All right. Okay, now, this time they gave us the altitude as 9. So the altitude is equal to this x square roots of 3. Okay, so that's why I wrote this over here. Now we're going to divide by the square root of 3. And you know you can't have a radical in the denominator. So you've got to rationalize here. And when you rationalize, you end up with 3 square roots of 3. So that is your base, okay, your short leg. So 3 square roots of 3. Now what is your hypotenuse? Hey, somebody got it. 2 times x. So it's 2 times your 3 square roots of 3. So 2 times 3 square roots of 3 is 6 square roots of 3. Awesome. Y'all are doing great. Alright, here's another one. Let's see what you can get with this one. Exactly. 12 equals x square roots of 3. Oops, I think I skipped a step there. Let me add that in here. Sorry, it's going to take me a second, just a second. So 12 equals x square roots of 3. So I'm dividing both sides by the square root of 3. And that's where this came from. So x is equal to 12 over the square root of 3 because this canceled. Okay, sorry about that. Alright, so back to where we were. Alright, so 12 over the square root of 3. 12 times the square root of 3 over 3 gives us 4 square roots of 3. So that's what x is. And so your base is 4 square roots of 3. And your hypotenuse is 8 square roots of 3 because you got to do 2 times it. Alright? Here's another one. You try this one. Good. Okay, so 27 here. Because you're multiplying for this one, I'm going to undo this, so I'm going to divide by the square root of 3. So that's what I was actually doing, was skipping a step earlier on that last problem. So I'm going to divide by the square root of 3. So I end up with 27 over the square root of 3. Can't have the square roots in the denominator. So now I rationalize, and I end up with 9 square roots of 3. Okay, now that means my base, my short leg, is 9 square roots of 3. And my hypotenuse is 2 times that, which is 18 square roots of 3. Well done. Alright, 21. for the altitude. So we're going to do 21 over the square root of 3. We're going to rationalize. We get 7 square roots of 3, so that's our short leg, that's x. And we multiply times 2, we get 14 square roots of 3. We keep focusing on this pattern, guys. This is exactly what each one is. So we do the same thing again, over and over and over. So 11 square roots of 3 is x, and 2 times x is 22 square roots of 3. And that's it. Thank you for visiting the Leisure Math channel. If you've got any questions, make sure you write them down for class tomorrow. And we're going to really be practicing this tomorrow in class. I'll see you then. Have a good day.